She's good. She's strong. She's very strong. Strong hands. To put it mildly. All right, so we're gonna get started first with just some breathing, just to kind of clear the mind and infiltrate the body with some fresh air and energy. So we're gonna kind of sit however it's comfortable for you to feel like you can get a good breath. Have a window open here, over here, so we are getting some of the circulation of fresh air. Alright, so let's exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. And open your nostrils up and bring a really big breath into both lungs. Fill them up and then exhale through the mouth. Push lots of carbon dioxide out. Inhale through the nose. Super full breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Push it out. Inhale. Open your nostrils, open your nose, open the lungs, open the body and the mind. Exhale. Let it pour out like a balloon pops. Inhale. Exhale. Normal breathing. Now, one of the greatest things that I think I can teach you, I do right at the beginning of all my classes and all of my workshops, okay? And it's the breath infusion exercise. Now, I want you to blow your nose, so I gotta find some Kleenexes really fast or some towels. Let's see. The paper would probably be better. Let's give the nose a quick blow and we'll do some breath infusion. So notice when you blow your nose, and if you need more, just come up and get one. When you blow your nose, you create this thrust motion. That's the same motion or same action that we use to push lots and lots of carbon dioxide out of the system. This is a heavy gas that we want to get out the body and out of the psyche. Okay, and in the meantime, we're focusing on that exhale, like a nose blow. The inhale comes back into the body just as a reflex. We don't really have to pull it in too, okay? We don't have to make that an aggressive movement. It's just kind of a light reflex where after we blow it out, the belly kind of relaxes and the breath is just naturally vacuumed back into the lungs just to push it right back out. Put your hand on your belly like this. Think of blowing your nose. Inhale, hold the breath. Pull up on your spine like you're trying to straighten your spine. Hold that breath in for just a moment. Absorb it and then exhale through the mouth. Blow it out, all the way out. Inhale through the nose. Hold it, feel it, observing internally. Exhale. So why is that breath infusion so important and why does it change things? You can already feel how it's kind of changed the way that the mind feels slightly, the way your awareness feels slightly, the way your body feels. We feel a little tingly, we feel a little lightheaded. So let's observe those effects and let's do it again. Okay, inhale. Keep going. Let me hear you. Good. Keep going, pushing out those heavy gases. This is what the respiratory system does. It cleans the body, cleans the mind. Inhale fully. Vacuum in a full breath and hold that oxygen. Feel it absorb, compressed, distributed. Exhale. Release the heavy gases from your body. Inhale. we've got to intellectually understand what happens when we do that. The mind has to understand and compute and register what happens when we increase the amount of oxygen that's coming in and increase the amount of carbon dioxide and heavy gases that are going out. What happens? Well, it cleans the mind and it settles us down into a higher state of consciousness, settles us down into a higher state, okay? So we're less concerned about survival focused kind of distractions that we're usually focused on. The mind is usually focused on what survival behaviors? Eating. Eating is number one.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeping. Mating. Survival. But we have to eat and sleep first in order to have the energy to even do the mating. So the eating is first. And we take a breath, when we come out of mom, we take a breath and then we take a drink from the bottle or the breast, whichever. So eating is pretty much your number one activity upon arrival in this, dimension. So it's pretty much, it's a big focus and we're going to focus on it today as part of our lifestyle. So we'll get to that later. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, reacting is kind of the fourth interest of the subtle body or the mind body and the physical body. They work in tandem together, and we'll also get to that. I'll explain the difference between those parts. So we just need to understand intellectually that when you increase the oxygen in your system and you also increase the extraction of the heavy dense gases, putting the respiratory system to work for all it's worth, for all it's got, to clean this system out, we increase our chances of having a higher perception of things, having a higher awareness, a cleaner awareness, a clearer awareness. So let's do it one more time, and then we're going to get to introductions. Go ahead.
Did you do that breath exercise before or after a meditation, or?
Before.
Before.
Yes, always before, because it gets us ready to meditate. We can either sit in meditation with a chaotic, bogged down system, psyche, or we can push all that out, extract it out, make an effort to clean it out using what we have. And what do we have that's our primary tool of life right now? The respiratory system. Like I said, number one, we take a breath as soon as we enter into this dimension. We take that first breath in and we're dependent on it until the last breath out, right? That's number one.
I didn't know if it would excite you too much or.
No, it doesn't. You would think, we might think that it does that, but it actually does the opposite.
Relaxes me.
Yeah. We might think that it would excite us, but it actually has the opposite effect. It actually will relax the mind and kind of empty the psyche of all of the influential energies that you have absorbed from people and places and things during your day or during your week, however often you apply the breathing practice. So it's like taking off your big backpack. You don't want to sit with a backpack on while you're meditating, or a big, urn of substance on your head or weights on your ankles. You want to take that stuff off. You want to empty it. That won't excite you. That's going to lighten your load and make you feel like, oh, now I can think again. So the psyche carries that stuff, carries what so-and-so said to you, or all the thoughts that you thought, during the day, or the dreams that you had at night. That stuff is all like baggage in the psyche. So we apply the breathing to empty the baggage. Then it's time to meditate. So let's do one more round, and then we're going to just introduce ourselves a little bit and get started. Okay? Inhale. Keep going. Good. Think of the blowing of the nose action and kind of exaggerate it. Keep going. Think of what you're doing. Emptying, pushing out, extracting out the heavy gases, and infusing that fresh oxygen. Inhale, a nice full breath in. Fill up your lungs. Feel that breath go all the way down into the feet. Now exhale all the way from the feet. Empty the load in the feet. That psychic load down there. Inhale. Breathe all the way down into the toes. Exhale from the toes. Push it out. The psychological aspects of the body reach all the way down into the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, good. Now I just want you to kind of move your body a little bit like this. Sort of like your spine is just kind of moving side to side in there. Just kind of move things around a little bit. Now, if I get to talking and I forget to give you a break and to stand up and stuff, let's do one little stretch session now, because it's good for our learning capacity. It's good for our mind to empty a little bit more of the built up tensions in the body. So we'll just kind of stretch side to side. These are just simple stretching exercises. The back gets kind of bogged down with energy, so we'll empty some of those. Good, and then maybe give yourself a little space, maybe step away and just do a little twisty action. Alright, so keep twisting a little bit. And careful with your lower back especially. A little bit of good breathing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Okay. Good. Let's sit back down.
Can you do that breathing while you're driving?
Well, maybe not. Just because, I don't know. I don't usually. Maybe just like 10 pumps or something.
Or maybe
Not a
just
whole
do it,
bunch.
Just do it a little easier or something?
Yeah, just do it a little easier. Be real smart about it. You're not trying to raise Kundalini like we're doing in class, while driving. I hope not. But you could do just a little bit of refreshment. Like it's just taking a shot of refreshment real quick.
Okay.
And a nice breath in.
And that would be waking you up now.
Yeah.
Sometimes like a little like.
Yeah. That would bring some good oxygen in there, push some of that dullness out.
Okay.
We're doing it real conscientiously. If we do it, we're doing it with like it's a medicine that you're taking from a medicine cabinet. I need a shot of caffeine, okay? So I'm gonna give myself a shot of oxygen. And you know where you're pushing it too. If it's in your head that you got the dullness, if it's in your body that or both, you can push that dullness out with a little bit of breath infusion. Okay. Now, I will introduce myself first. I just wanted to say that in all of my classes and workshops, I always teach about yoga and spirituality, and I encourage people to really think about their lifestyle and to develop a really sensible, smart lifestyle for yourself. But I have never done a workshop specifically on lifestyle, zeroing in on lifestyle, how to do it, what's involved, what to get out, what to put in, how to think about it. So this is why I offered this class, so that we could zero in on lifestyle. See how popular it is to address a person's lifestyle. People are most resistant to lifestyle changes because they pretty much got their routine down. They're eating, they're sleeping, they're interacting with others, whether it's physically or psychically, and they have their normal reactionary sort of personality that's pretty much in place. And it's really hard to get people to change their lifestyle. That's why there's such a thing called an ashram or a monastery. That's where a person goes because their lifestyle is managed for them. They don't have to do it themselves. They're told what to do. And if you don't want to do what you're told to do, then you can leave. It's as simple as that. So, people will go to an ashram every now and then, or a retreat or something like that, to kind of get their lifestyle back on track. Some people devote their whole lives to their lifestyle, and they'll move to an ashram, or they'll just make their own little home in an ashram where their lifestyle is supported and nourished. So I'm Erin Earth, and you guys know I'm a yoga teacher here, and I have a 19-year-old son. I've lived in Sarasota for about 6 years now, and I just love it here. I've been a yoga teacher for about 20 years, and a vegetarian for about 20 years. I grew up an adoptee, which means I didn't have any knowledge of or contact with any of my genetic relatives until I was about 25 years old, so that kind of did a number on my psyche and caused me to think a little differently and to be somewhat detached from the things that people usually get wrapped up in, which is family affairs. Reincarnation is what, I do believe in reincarnation, and the yoga practice is based on reincarnation, so we have this understanding that family members they're family members long term, a lot of times, you know, they're in and out of each other's lives, lifetime after lifetime, so they're very attached to one another. So for me, that was cut right at the beginning of this life, that attachment to the genetic family, to the bloodline and lineage. So it just caused me to view things a little differently. I was different. I was the only one I knew like that. You know, there wasn't anybody else to relate to. So, you know, it caused me to become very interested in yoga later and be able to apply it. You know.
Hard thing for you, but a good thing for us.
Thank you. That's the nicest thing you could say. So that's me, and you could go first, or you can go first, or you can go first. Just you can say something about yourself. You want to tell me your name?
I'm Marie, and I've been living in Sarasota for the past several months, which has been really good. And it's interesting because I was going to move back to Atlanta, and after I saw the Unity of Sarasota's website, there was an energy within that website. I just said, I have to be here, and so here I am.
That's so awesome.
Good. Jim, and been here about 3 years, and get caught up in working. I'm a recovering workaholic. No 12-step programs for that. But I'm doing pretty good. So, but then I've been, I'd say, spiritual for the last spiritual rather than religious for probably the last 30, 35 years. But I didn't make the headway you made. You probably less time. So I'm still learning.
I'm John, and I too I'm from Atlanta. Yeah, I lived in Atlanta. I was in the clothing business in Atlanta, men's and ladies clothing, for about 15 years. Then I lived after I sold my business. I stayed around Atlanta for a while. Then I came down to Sarasota. My family had a business down here. Did they passed away now? But they had a Turvis Tumbler Company. You've heard of that, haven't you? Yeah, they had that business. Make and sell insulated drinking glasses. What?
Oh, okay.
The company's still around.
Oh yeah, I was down in Venice. Yeah, and we have a store in Osprey. You've probably been in that. The second store or it's a little retail store we had there. But the manufacturing and everything is down in Venice. So I've lived here for about 30 years, on and off, 25, 30 years. Then I lived in North Carolina for 4 years. I had a house that I didn't want to sell. I know what happened, just one of those things. I have a house down here.
So what brought you to Unity?
I went to a couple services when Jackson, when was it Dr. Don Jackson over at Spring, it was right here, it was downtown, Coconut, yeah. I went to several of those and liked what he had to say, and his wife, Dorothy.
Yeah.
So then that's what kind of got me out here.
Good.
And
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you came today. Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
So, spiritually healthy lifestyle. Spiritually, that's the key word. Why not just healthy lifestyle? Because a spiritually healthy lifestyle is kind of a different thing. It's a little bit more serious, it's a little bit more focused. And what are we focused on? We're focusing on the spirit, the person, the core self, as I most generally call it.
So for you, when you say core self, I could equate it to spirit?
Yes, so we're gonna get into that right now. I usually start many of my workshops by explaining just this, and even my classes, I go through this regularly at the very beginning. The three parts of our current reality, okay, what are they? First, we have the physical part. That is very tangible. We know it, we feel it, we see it. What are some synonyms for the physical aspect of who we are?
Dense body, dense matter.
Yes, body, dense matter, that's good. Matter. And dense is an important word there too. I would say physiology. That's another variation of this
Too
word.
big for
I know, it's too long to write. Flesh.
me. So then physical would also be
Bones.
sight, sound, but those would be.
How about bones?
Bones are definitely physical. And just as much as the flesh is, what were you saying?
The senses, would you include that in?
The senses would be, yeah, they're part of the physical body and they're part of the subtle body.
Or both?
Oh yeah, definitely. This will get you very familiar with the power of your sense organ. This way. Okay, so the physical, we have the physical body, and what happens to the physical body? It gestates. Somebody gets pregnant, it gestates, it's birthed, it grows, it matures, and then it begins decay, and then it dies. We know this. We observe it over and over. Now, the second part of our current reality is this subtle body, or this subtle system. So that's less tangible. It's less easy or concrete to sense. It's abstract. It's energy. So you can't use your hands to touch it. You have to use your sensitivity. You have to sense the energies that are animating this physical body. If this subtle energy decided that it was going to abandon this part of your reality, what would happen? Yeah, the physical body would die. The physical body is reliant on the subtle energy that is the subtle body. It is a container, just like your physical body is a container. It contains stuff, specific stuff, just like your body contains specific stuff. So what are some synonyms, do you think, that we would use for subtle body?
Energy body?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where things like chi would be in that
Mhm.
area?
Yeah. Chi would be like, Chinese use the word chi, Indians use the word prana.
Okay.
So it's the
Prana?
energy, prana.
But
It's
it,
the energy that
Yeah.
flows through